Good morning and welcome to Rosh Hashana, Daf Gimel, number 3. This is a special day. The day after our unbelievable premiere of Masechus Rosh Hashanah, where we went ahead and we took the next step to bringing the Shir of Klal Yisrael, the Shir of dancing and singing and fun. No one is boring Daf Yomi, alright? We're done with it. The days are over. No more of these boring shiurim. All right, shiurim have to be entertaining. This is the 2020s. We're in a day and age of entertainment, instant entertainment. You got a YouTube, you gotta be entertained. This is the entertainment capital of the world over here on this year. On my channel. There is nothing more entertaining than me. Right, Shmuel? Right. And I want to show everybody over here my friend Fall.
Don't do that.
This person is saying that you get a kvittel. The kala is gonna, for 100 shekels, she'll say your name on the chuppah.
Yeah.
Most people don't know who this is. Ani omed l'fnei chasonasi, avi shlita, talmid chacham muflag, shemafarnes kalimas b'shvacha, iparnasa tova. He works af sheyoshe ba'ola shal Torah. Even though he lives in the Ol of Torah, Ekev Sibos Refuyos, Higia Lamansav Dachuk Ma'od, Akadei Kach Asher, Ani Yer Lavakish Min Lahotzas Chasunasi Shalo Yikros. The Kala is asking for money that she shouldn't be without clothes for her Chasana. She needs the minimum. So I was always wondering, who is this person, It doesn't say anything. I came to the room before, and I saw Shmuel and Rafal, my friend, if you remember Rafal. He's a guy, a little overweight, He's a nice guy. He's a very funny guy.
He's a very, 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 very good man.
He's a very good man. He does a lot of chesed. He mentors people at risk children. And I found out that he has a 13-year-old daughter. And you know what?
You're crazy. Okay, that's it. Stop.
She is going to get married.
It's a shame.
Not now, and someone else. This is obviously not for his daughter. This is for somebody else. But Rafal will not need. Rafal has a good parnasa. He works again with at-risk children. He makes a good parnasa. He makes $10,000 each case, each meeting.
He's laughing.
I got him to laugh. He's in the middle of davening. Oh, my friends over here, they daven every second. They have an opportunity. Shmuel, Rafal, whenever I see them, they're always davening. I have to pull them away from the davening. Rafal said I couldn't bother Shmuel because he was saying Tehillim. He said, I quoted the Gemara in Megillah. The Gemara in Megillah says that Talmud Torah the Rabbim is docha karbonos. If it's docha karbonos, it's certainly docha tefillah. And certainly docha tehillim. So Shmuel, you have no answer anymore. Rafal has no answer. Rafal, stop davening already. Rafal heard what I said yesterday, that if you do not listen to my shir, you lose your chelik in Klal Yisrael. And Rafal seems to not care about this.
Start learning already.
He's davening. His 13-year-old daughter should find the shit out.
At the right time, she'll find the shit out. Okay, let's start with the Davion.
All right. Not to an at-risk kid. He doesn't want her to marry an at-risk kid. It seems a little prejudiced to me, Rafal. If you're dealing with at-risk kids, you should be open that your daughter should marry an at-risk child.
There was a big guy who got married.
What do you have to say about that, Rafal? Come here.
It's like saying that someone that's a heart doctor.
Yeah.
Let his kid marry a heart.
Heart? He said, this is his analogy. He said, if you're a heart cardiologist, then he should let his daughter marry a heart.
I wouldn't say it.
Oh, heart. I didn't know people live with just hearts.
That's impossible.
What he meant to say, Rafal,
Heart.
he meant a bacher who has a boy, a young man who has bad midos.
Every year starts with these silly things.
He has a bad heart. He has bad midos. That's for Rafal's analogy.
Not funny.
I wonder if Rafal's analogy would stand up on the SATs. All right. You know, they have those analogy. What are they called? When you have to compare words to another, one word compared to another is the same as another word compared to another.
It's the
What is it
Hebrew
called?
Ezek is called the Zustand.
I don't use those words. He says some Yiddish word over here.
Zustel.
It's like a Yiddish rabbi telling his daughter she can only marry someone who speaks Yiddish.
That's right.
Right?
That's what usually
That's,
happens.
that's the parallel over
That
here.
usually happens like that. That the people who singers chazonim, the son-in-law is the chazan. You find that a lot. A Rosh Yeshiva, son-in-law is the Rosh Yeshiva. Person, a businessman, the son-in-law is the business. Oh, that's
Uh-huh.
you find that a lot.
Right? And someone
A
who has
writer, the son-in-law is a writer. Writes.
someone who has a parrot for a pet. Make sure his daughter marries on someone who is who repeats what he says. He can't give it. What is that called? Condition called when you repeat the same thing all the time. Okay. The fun is momentarily ended. We're gonna continue with the shir now. Doesn't mean it's over. It just means
Remember when you were in you were in camp when you were younger? We used to have learning groups outside, and how would they announce that it's finished? They had a big announcement: time for learning never ends, but learning groups are now over. In other words, now the fun starts.
I don't know. I was sleeping there in learning groups. I don't think I attended learning groups. Which camp did you go to, Shmuel? Regular?
Run of the mill.
Run in the middle? Which one? What's the name?
Torah V'das. You heard of it?
Torah V'das? It's a yeshiva, no?
Yeshiva. It's also camp. It doesn't exist anymore.
Okay. Doesn't exist. Everything Shmuel did doesn't exist anymore. The camp he went to, the high school he went to, the college he went to. This is what he says all the time. They don't exist anymore. Shmuel, I have an honest question for you. If they didn't exist now, they don't exist now, did they exist then? Is your whole life just a lie? It's made up? Is it made up, Shmuel?
Yeah, that's a philosophical question, I guess. He knows philosophy.
Okay. The Gemara says, on top of Gimel Mid Aleph, about 8 lines down. Midam, Yihasam Knan, Hachasichon. After you compare two psukim, we say Knan is the same thing as Sichon. It says two different names. So the Gemara says, Tana, the Brayta says, who's Sichon, who Arad, who's Knan? He's Sichon, he's Arad, he's Knan. Same person. Sichon, Shadom Elisayach. He's a Sichon because he's like a fowl. You know what a fowl is?
Foal.
Foal. That's what article says.
A foal.
What's a foal, Rafal?
It's a young. It's a foal.
Okay, I don't know exactly what it is.
It's a young horse, I think.
Okay. Shadom Elisayach Midbar. Like a foal in the wilderness. Knan al Shem al Chuso.
Rashi says Iyar ben Sus. Ayar ben Sus. What is that?
I don't know.
It's like a young foal. It's a young horse.
Okay, a young horse. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Who are the Knan? Sichon Jonas have Midbar Knan Shalem Machusa. He lived in Eretz Canaan, which is reportedly Eretz Israel. Mashmo, what's his name? Arad Shmo. Ikada Amri. Alternatively, Ered Shadom El Arad Midbar. This article gives a more clear explanation. It's a donkey, a wild donkey. Knan al Shem al Chusa. Knan because it was in Eretz Canaan. Umash Shmo Sichon Shmo. Vayi b'chodesh harishon v'shana shenis be'echad l'chodesh. Oh, I skipped the line. Eimer Rosh Hashana Iyar. Well, we're trying to figure out. We compared that the start of the year for a Malchus is the same as the start of the year from counting from Yesias Mitzrayim. So the Gemara says maybe Rosh Hashana for Yesias Mitzrayim is not Nisan but Iyar. Don't think that. Vayi b'chodesh harishon v'shana shenis be'echad l'chodesh hukah hamishkan. Right, the first month is Nisan, the second year, and then it says Shana Sheni is the same second year. The second month in Iyar, the cloud of glory left the Mishkan. The Kaiba Nisan Shana Shenis, Kaiba Iyar Shana Shenis. Again, Iyar is still called the second year. Otherwise, it would be the Rosh Hashanah would be the third year. Maybe Rosh Hashanah Sivan. Maybe Rosh Hashanah for Yesias Mitzrayim is Sivan. Lo Sagadaitach. This is talking about before they got the Matan Torah. To the third month, Sivan. They got it right when they left Mitzrayim the first year. So it should have said the second year. If Sivan was Rosh Hashanah, it should have said the second year. Fine, we've ruled out Sivan, ruled out Iyar, and other months, the Gemara says before we've ruled it out. But what about Tammuz, Av, or other? Those could be the Rosh Hashanah for Yisrael Mitzrayim. So it's a good question. I'm a Rav Elazar has to say something else. Mahacha, a different pasuk. Vayacha livnos b'chodesh hasheni b'sheni b'shanas arba l'malchuso. Let's talk about Shlomo. Shlomo started to build the base of Mikdash second month, Iyar. B'sheni, this random word B'sheni. We're going to see what that means. B'shanas arba l'malchuso is fourth year of his reign. My sheni, what is this extra word sheni? Lav sheni liyera, the yerach shemonibo. Malchuso, it comes to teach you, like we're trying to find out, that the second year from what you count his malchus. So you see, you count the malchus of a king, a Jewish king from Nisan. We're going to get the Eno with Ben Sira. We're going to try to find out exactly. There's a problem with Rav Elazar and the fact that he, this pasuk is only talking about Shlomo HaMelech. How do you know it refers to other kings also? Maskiv la Ravina asks the question, maybe Sheni b'chodesh. Maybe Sheni means the second of the month, meaning Iyar Beis, Iyar, second day of Iyar. Even Sheni b'chodesh b'hed Yahav Ksiv Bey. It would have said Sheni b'chodesh, second day of the month. Didn't say that. It says Sheni. Maybe Sheni b'Shabbos. Maybe it's talking about a Monday. Chad the Leshkan Sheni b'Shabbos. I never found that the Torah tells you what day of the week it is. Oh, Maki Sheni Basla Sheni Kama. There's a Hekesh. Two words are next to each other. Ma Sheni Kama Chodesh. Sheni Kama is a month. Iyar Af Sheni Basra Chodesh. It means a month also. To tell you that's the month that you count the reign of a king from Nisan. Tanya Gvas said Rabbi Yochanan Minayin Shein Mon Lehel Malachim El Nisan. So we're going to bring a brisa to support Rabbi Yochanan. His proof that we know we count the years of Jewish kings from Nisan. Shenemar Yehibish Ronim Shana Arbas Mel Shana Lesis Ben Shalom Eretz Yisrael Mechsiva Yalar Na Kohen Har Ar Pi Hashem Gomer Mechsiva Yabrim Shana B'Ashtei Asar Chodesh Mechsiv Acharei Hakos Sicha Gomer Omer Yishma Knani Gomer Omer Yiro Kol Eidak Yav Aaron Gomer Omer Yehibish Chodesh Rishon Shana Sheni Gomer Omer Yehibish Shana Sheni Chodesh Sheni Gomer Omer Chodesh Rishon Shana Gomer, Livnos. Say it, Shmuel. Gomer. Gomer. Anyway, we brought all the psukim that we just brought in the previous Amud in order to deduce all these proofs, and that's exactly what the Brisa brings. Frakta Kasha here is Enoch Ben Sion. Introduce it, Shmuel. Introduce it. Dun 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 dun. Enoch Ben Sion. The Gemara brings a proof to who? To Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan, the Gemara ended off with a kasha. The Gemara was not able to adduce a proof for Rabbi Yochanan completely because the Gemara had a pircha. The Gemara said, Ve'ema Adar, Ve'ema Av, Ve'ema Tammuz. It could have been one of those 3 months for the mini Yisiyas Mitzrayim. He would learn it out from the fact that Yisiyas Mitzrayim is hukush to Malchus, to counting for a Malucha. So therefore, just like Yisiyas Mitzrayim is from Nisan, so Malucha is also from Nisan. But the Gemara disproved that. The Gemara said maybe that Yisiyas Mitzrayim was counting not from Nisan, maybe from Adar, or from Av, or from Tammuz. So the Gemara couldn't bring a proof. So the Gemara answered, Rav Elazar comes and says a different pasuk with Shlomo HaMelech, which is more direct, doesn't compare it to Yisiyas Mitzrayim. So the question is, why does it say Tanai Vas Rabbi Yochanan? Especially because then in the Brisa, it brings this pasuk that Rav Elazar brings. The Gemara is about Omer, the last pasuk, about Yacha Livnos. He brings the pasuk of Shlomo that Rav Elazar has to bring. So why is Tanya Gvasi Rabbi Yochanan? If Tanya Gvasi Rabbi Elazar, got the kasha? Tosfos addresses this. Tanya Gvasi Rabbi Yochanan, the bottom Tosfos, second to last Tosfos. Lav Lafuki Rabbi Elazar. It's not coming to exclude Elazar. The Hamaisi Nami Rabbi Elazar Bahak Brisa. It brings Rabbi Elazar at the end of the Brisa. Akra Rabbi Elazar Lo Sagi. Now the Tosfos says an important thing. This is what I wanted to do. Basically, my Iyam Ben Sion today is just explaining a Tosfos. But sometimes you need Iyam Ben Sion to explain a Tosfos. Akra Rabbi Elazar Lo Sagi. The Hava Amina. The Shlomo Vale Vishen Liyareach Shemon L'Malam Achlusa L'Vishalom Benisan. Aval Sham Lachem Lo Lahaki Lo Lahaki Sarach Nami the Makish L'Yasias Mitzrayim. So the Gemara says Rabbi Elazar himself is not enough, and Rabbi Yochanan is not enough. Rabbi Yochanan has a pircha on him, and Rabbi Elazar has a pircha. Tosfos brings the pircha on Rabbi Elazar. Rabbi Elazar, maybe it's only Shlomo because he took office in Nisan. He became Melech in Nisan. Any other king, we don't have a proof to that. The proof of Rabbi Yochanan is more solid. It's for all kings. Makis Yisnis Mitzrayim. So why, at the end of the day, why did the Gemara bring for Rabbi Yochanan and not for Rabbi Elazar? Say Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Elazar, right? It's just as equally a proof for Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Yochanan.
Right.
So this, I want to explain over here that when it comes to svara, right, there's rational proofs and there's empirical proofs. Empirical is based on evidence that you have. I mean, I don't know if text is considered an empirical proof. You know, there's an empirical evidence and rational evidence.
No.
Empirical evidence is evidence that you have before you. You do a case study, you see how many rabbits have pink ears, how many rabbits have black ears, gray ears, right? And you do, that's empirical evidence. And rational evidence is a priori, kal vachomer, things like that. Makes sense rationally. The Gemara here is faced with two different things. We have an empirical proof from Rabbi Yochanan. He's makish at Yisrael Mitzrayim. There is a pircha, and we have Rabbi Elazar who brings a pasuk, but he uses a svara. It's a rational proof. Just like Shlomo, Mustama, all other kings are like that. The Gemara says when we have both going against each other, we have a svara, we have an empirical evidence, and we have rational evidence. Which one is it more like? Which one is it likelier to be? Which question do we heed more? Gemara is answering empirical evidence beats rational evidence.
Okay.
If you have empirical evidence, it's more conclusive than rational evidence. It's not completely conclusive, as the Gemara has a pircha. And sometimes rational evidence is not completely conclusive. But if you have rational evidence which is not completely conclusive, empirical evidence which is not completely conclusive, you side, Tanek Basta the Yochanan, you side with the empirical evidence.
Okay. Sorry.
Right? That's why surveys are so important. You take surveys of people, empirical evidence. Can't beat empirical evidence. Right? That's the truth. Can't beat it.
Well, I don't know. You could fool around with everything.
I'll tell you, my Rosh Hashiva once told me, I asked him, he gave a shmooze on Derech HaLimud. His name is Rabbi Yaakov Friedman from Beitar. He's a big tzaddik, one of the biggest tzaddikim in the generation.
Wow.
He fasts 3/4 of the day.
Really?
3/4 of the day he fasts, and the last fourth of the day he eats Suda Shlomo B'Shaito.
That's not very nice to say about a rabbi like that. Really
I'm
fast?
joking.
He
He
really
doesn't
fast?
fast. I don't know what he does. I'm sure he fasts. I don't know
Probably
exactly.
he's very busy. Probably doesn't have time
Yeah,
to.
he doesn't eat too much. Anyway, he's a big tzaddik. He's Rosh Yeshiva's Birkas Mordechai in Beitar. I was there. I learned for a number of years there. He told me that in Derech Halima, let's say you have a Diuk and Rashi, right? Rashi seems to be saying something, or the Gemara seems to be saying something. You have words, you have empirical evidence, but you have a svara, you have rational evidence. He said that the svara always trumps the words. Meaning if words are mashma one way and your svara is mashma the other way, you go with your svara and you do a chasuri mechsar of a hakikasani.
That's why the Gemara does that.
The Gemara does it sometimes.
Yeah, but I don't know how much you could. People like if you have a good svar, a lot of times.
That's basically the Gemara uses both of these strategies. The Gemara says chasuri mechsar
right.
sometimes.
No, okay,
And the Gemara sometimes says meduyik like this, seifa medayik like this, reish medayik like this.
Okay, very good.
Right? And the Gemara says trei tanai
This is
aliba.
his own thing. It probably is written.
This is his Kabbalah from his Rebbe.
Who's his Rebbe?
His Rebbe is Rabbi Yaakov Hopfer from Baltimore.
Oh, he's here. He has a grandson learning here.
Okay.
The Koilel. Rabbi Vito's Koilel.
Oh yeah, maybe I'll give him some food for his Suda Shlomo.
There's a hop for him.
Okay.
Which one is Jacob Hop? He's an older man or what?
He's probably older than Rabbi
He's in
Friedman if he's a Rebbe.
There's one who's an Ashkocha and everything. Who's that? Rabbi Hopper from Baltimore? He's one who moved to. There's one who was.
I don't know when Baltimore. He's leader of a shul. I don't know
yes,
exactly.
Yes, his grandson learns here.
Mm-hmm.
He comes from.
Okay, we're gonna have to talk to him. We're gonna have to.
He also did something. Maybe he was from a German background, German Jew. His grandfather escaped Germany or something. I don't know. He told me his grandfather was worked for the you know what I'm saying, for the
Okay, let's go on.
for the
Doesn't interest me too much. All right.
no, he worked in some sort of defense contractors here in Israel. I don't remember, you know what I mean?
So his grandson fights in the army, you're saying?
No. His grandfather, the great grandfather, they needed him for. He was like some sort of engineer or physics or what do you call it? Something to do with nuclear.
Right, nuclear bombs. All right, Amar of Chista. Lo Shanu, we have to finish the daf. We have 10 minutes left. All right, you get the information. Tomorrow we'll center our discussion around this. All right. Amar of Chista. Lo Shanu el Lamalch Yisrael. We only say you count by Nisan for the kings, by kings of Israel. Val Malchus Umas Ha'olam. Right, for the president of the United States, we go with Tishrei. You go after Tishrei. Manina Shnemar Divrei Nechem Mechachalia.
What does that mean? I mean, the Goyim don't care about Tishrei, obviously. The non-Jews don't care. Oh, it's Tishrei. Let's make it.
No, if you write a star, like the Mishnah explained, if you write a star and you want to use Donald Trump or President Biden as the data of your star, so you write, this is the first year of President Biden, and after actually it will be the second year of President Biden. Prime Minister is a Malchei Yisrael. He's not Malchei Umas Olam. He's Jewish, right? He keeps Shabbos. All right.
Okay.
The Kai Bekislev, these are the two psukim talking about the same event. We'll see on the Amud Beis. The Kai Bekislev, the first pasuk on Kislev, Karli Shnas Esrim. The Kai Benisan, the second pasuk on Nisan, the Karli Shnas Esrim. Called the Rosh Hashanah Nisan. If it was Nisan, it would be the 21st year. The Gemara says Bishlam Maheyach Mefarish Alach Ar Tachshasta. One pasuk actually says Ar Tachshasta. Elohim Imadil Ar Tachshasta. How do you know it's talking about the reign of Ar Tachshasta? Dilma. Maybe it's going based on a different count, 20th year, nothing to do with the reign of Ar Tachshasta. Amar of Papa, no. Shnas Esrim, Gzeir Sheva. It says in both psukim Shnas Esrim. It's Gzeir Sheva. Ma Hasam Ar Tachshasta, Af Hacha Ar Tachshasta. Since one counting is going after the reign of Ar Tachshasta, his years, so too the second one also. Might the Maisa the Kislev Kadim. How do you know the first pasuk comes first? Still the Maisa the Nisan Kadim. Maybe Nisan come first. And therefore, it's his 20th year because Nisan never passed again. Dvarim Sha'amar Chanani Bekislev. We're going to see it's a whole episode over here that Hanani was someone from Eretz Yisrael. This is during the inter Beis Hamikdash period where the Beis Hamikdash was no longer built. 70 years in Bavel. And eventually Daryavish, son of Achashverosh, gave them permission to go. But apparently, in the article says over here, that they really were given permission before from one of the earlier kings, Daryavish Hamadai, the first Persian king. He gave them a rishus to go build, and they did. It was Zerubbabel, but it was stopped in the middle. And that's what the discussion over here is. They wanted to go. Nechemia ben Chalia heard that the city was being rampaged during Golas Bavel. He wanted to go help them over there. Hanani, who was from Eretz Yisrael, he told Nechemia, who was in Bavel, what was going on. Whatever he told him in Kislev, Shenemar, Divrei.
Where was he? Where was Nechemia?
Nechemia was in Bavel. What were those words? Divrei Nechemia Mechachalia. Ahi b'chodesh Kislev, Shnas Esrim, 20th year. Ani yiti b'Shushan Abir, in Shushan Abir, the capital of Bavel. Vayavo Hanani echad ma'achai, who one of my brothers from Eretz Yisrael, and Ashim Yehuda, Ashalem al Yehudim al Pleta. I asked them about the Jews, the remnants of Israel. Asher nishru min Hashevi v'al Yerushalayim. What's going on in Yerushalayim? Yom ruling Hasharim Asher nishru min Hashevi sham Medina v'rag dola. They're in bad situation, in v'charefa, embarrassing. Chom Yerushalayim ufuretzes. The walls of Yerushalayim are breached. Sharen Yitzatu b'eish, and its gates are burning aflame. Amar Nechemia l'melech b'Nisan. So when he heard it in Kislev, he told him a couple months later in Nisan. I took wine. He used to be the butler for Artachshasta, the king. I gave him to the king. I wasn't doing anything bad. He saw that his face was downtrodden. You're not sick. He wouldn't drink from the wine, apparently, because he was in Avelos over Yerushalayim. So he thought that he poisoned the wine. He was downtrodden because he was poisoning the king. V'ira Harbe was very afraid. Ma'od v'omer lamelech hamelech la'olam yichya. The melech should live forever. Madua lo yiru panai. But it makes sense that my face is downtrodden. Asher eid base kvaros avosai. Asher eir base kvaros avosai chariva. The year where my ancestors were buried, it's destroyed, it's desolate. V'shareah uchlu beish. Its gates are being consumed by fire. What are you asking for? Secretly, you pray to Hashem, Hananya, and Nehemiah. Like sounds like from Esther, from Megillah Esther. If it's good before the king, Asher Tshachani al Yehuda, let me go with Yehuda to Eretz Yisrael. I'll build it. So his consort was sitting next to him, and Masai, consort is his wife. How long is going to be your journey? Matai touch when he coming back? Well, he told him whatever he told him. The Melech agreed to it. I'm going to come back. See, this is what happened. The Gemara says, "Meitzer of Yosef Yom Esrim Arba Lachodesh B'Shishi B'Shna Shtayim Udaryavich." The 24th day of the month, the 6th month in the second year of Daryavich. See, B'Shvi B'Shna Shtayim B'Esrim. The 7th month, it's implied, if it doesn't say Shashnai, it's implied from the pasuk, it's on the second year of the Yavish. The 21st of the month. Right? It should have been the 30th, it's implied from the pasuk, it doesn't say the second year. If Rosh Hashana is, the Shvi is Tishrei, so it should have been the 3rd year. Amar Rabbi Abao, Koresh Melech Kasher. Koresh, who the pasuk is talking about, was a good king. He was a kosher king. He was a refined king. Therefore, they counted him like the years of Yisrael. You go after Nisan. Maskal Rav Yosef.
Koresh is kosher. The same word as kosher.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Maskal Rav Yosef. Chada. One pircha. One question. The imkain kosher kraya dadi. The psukim don't make sense. Adar. Dihi shnas shis the malchus dayavesh. Sorry, the 6th year of the Yosh in Adar. Tanya, but also man l'shana haba al Ezra mibal. A year later, Ezra went mibal like Aluso imo. His exile, people from exile were with him. Yachsiva Yavu Yishalayim mechodesh hachamishi. Ishnas hashvis. He came in Av, 7th year. Lamelech. Isa shnas hashminis ibayle. If it was a year, he left a year later. That means a year after Adar of the 6th year. I mean Adar of the 7th year he left, and he got there in Av. There to the show in Av. Should be the 8th year if Rosh Hashanah is Nisan for counting the kings. Koresh was counted from Nisan. A second question. One pasuk we said before, Koresh was a good king. Here it says Daryavish. And the Gemara says, Tana, Koresh was Daryavish. This is obviously the son of Achashverosh. Who are Tachshasta?
He was the son of Esther.
Esther and Achashverosh. Right? Koresh and Melech Kosher, like Shmuel just said. Koresh is from Lashon Kosher, that he was a good king.
Why? Because he was Jewish. He wasn't. Maybe whatever.
Of course he was Jewish. Why was he Jewish? His mother was Jewish.
Yeah, I know. The Gemara doesn't say why he's Jewish. That's why we count him. The Gemara doesn't answer that.
That's a good question, Shmuel. I love your question. That's a great question. If he's the son of Esther, Esther was Jewish. So that would make him Jewish. So why do the Gemara say he's Malchi Umas Olam?
Because he is Malchi. Because he's
that's a good question,
he's
Shmuel.
King of a non-Jewish country. That's why it doesn't make a difference. He's Jewish.
No, I hear it. That's a good answer also. You're on the ball today, Shmuel. All the kings of Persia were called Tashasta. Mashma Daryavish Shmo. His name was Daryavish. Kasha. Still, the first question is a question. Amar Rav Yitzchak lo kasha. Kan kodem shechmes. Kan la'achar shechmes. Before he soured. When he had good policies, he let them go back to build a base on Mikdash. So he was a king kosher. They counted his months from Nisan. When he was hichmitz, when he soured,
they downgraded him.
They put him back, going with Tishrei. And that was later psukim. That was after they went back. He soured already. The Gemara talks. We're going to talk about tomorrow. Did he sour? Did he not sour? When did he sour? How long does it take the milk to sour? You know, Shmuel, I checked this out. At least Stefanski. Guess how many views he got for his first daf in Rosh Hashana?
Probably 3,000.
6.2 thousand views in 21 hours.
Wow.
That's a jump. He went from like 2.8 thousand. He more than doubled it.
Does he give away things? Does he give away socks or something?
Maybe he's giving away socks. Listen, you heard it here again. If you listen to Eli Stefanski, you not listen to me. You know the rest. Check out yesterday's share. You'll find out.
That's crazy. So these
All right. Have a good day. Bye.